Hey gamers, welcome to my game room. AJ from Rolling With Roc here. It's Wednesday, ROCtober 21st, and we are continuing the countdown to number 1 with my top 67 board games of all time, with number 25 through 21. Just keep in mind we are doing new board game content every day of the week here during the month of ROCtober, Monday through Saturday here on YouTube. There is new content. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is the top 67 board games of all time. Tuesday is a new Roc review. Thursday is a Roc Reacts unboxing video. And on Saturday, my son Remy and I are looking at some kids games. Then over at Sunday night on twitch.tv/rollingwithroc, I am playing board games at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, either on the table or digitally. And then during the week, random times, I'll be popping onto Twitch to play Among Us or digital board games, or even I will be playing Switch games now because I have a capture card. So I'll be popping in doing some of that. Also, tonight, over at twitch.tv Room 51 Live, I will be joining Justin and Melissa from Room 51, and we will be playing some board games over there. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/room51 live. So I hope you would join us over there tonight. As always, just a quick reminder that these are my thoughts on board games that I have played. If there's a game that you're not seeing, it might be because I haven't played it before. It's also always a possibility it's just a game that I don't like either. But go ahead and let me know what you think it might be missing from this list up to this point. Also, let me know what you think about the games that are about to follow in the comments section down below. Every comment on a video named ROCtober earns you an entry into Board Game Trick or Treat, which is our big Halloween giveaway at the end of the month. With all that out of the way, let's jump right back into the top 67 board games of all time with number 25. Number 25 is a game from John DeClaire and AEG in the card crafting system of games, and that is Mystic Vale. This is the Conclave box that is like the big box meant to hold all of the Mystic Vale content. I don't believe I have everything for this game. There is a lot of content because it is a very expandable system, and it is a great game, so it warrants all of this content. Yeah, there's a lot of room in here still, so I know for a fact that I don't have everything, but it's a nice, really deep box, hold all the cards. The system works really well, but what you do is, let me go ahead and grab, this should be something that's already sleeved. Yeah. Oh, these are not sleeved ones. I don't know. Where are the sleeved ones? I'll have to try to find them. But what you do is you have your sleeved starting cards. I think we might, oh yeah, here we go. Here's a sleeved starting card. This has nothing in it at the moment, but this is for this player. What you will do is, during the course of the game, you're going to get these clear, transparent cards that go into your sleeve. And that becomes your card now. So that's your card. Eventually, you might get another one and add that to this card as you play the game. Now every time you draw the card, that's the card. Now you can't place that over that because it doesn't work like that. But if you have one at the top, like this one, you can put this one on top. Now that card's full and has 3 different powers and stuff. So every time you draw that card, it's even better. Now there are starting cards that are good and bad. You have Growth, which allows you to press your luck more, and Decay, which makes you press your luck less. So like this is a cursed land, and it has that little black tree on it, and that is you can draw, I think, 2 of those, and once you draw the 3rd one, it ends your turn. So there's a very big press your luck mechanism to it. You can always see the card on the top of your deck, so you know when to stop, but when you draw another card and you see what's there, if that's another cursed land, you've already got too many on your, or any card that has the decay symbol on it, you've got too many in your field, you're going to have to scrap all your cards and pass your turn. So there's a very, it is a card crafting, you know, building up your cards so you can have more powerful cards when you bring the deck back out. But it's a lot of press your luck. How much, and also if you wanted to make it a little bit of card counting, you know how many of those you have in your deck. Now, if you have a nice green tree, that's a growth. That negates a decay. So the more growth you have, the better chances are you can draw more cards, equal more power, to buy better cards for victory points at the end of the game. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do, is you're trying to craft best cards to earn victory points. There's only a set number of these victory point tokens in the game for each player count, and you will go ahead and craft those. Now, there are some other components in here that, to be honest, I don't remember if we've even used them yet. We have a couple of different expansions for this game, but I don't think I've played with many of the expansions, if any of them yet. So I'm not going to talk about the expansions right now. But if you'd like card drafting or card building, in this case card crafting, and then press your luck games, this is a game that I really, really enjoy playing. It doesn't take too awfully long to play, as long as people don't really go into AP and trying to figure out what they're going to do on their turn. It's really kind of a just do what you can, put the card in, move on kind of a game, in my opinion. But everybody's going to have, you know, your mileage might vary. But again, really like this game. It's coming in at number 25 of my all-time games. This is Mystic Vale from AEG. Number 24. Coming in at number 24 is a set of games, and that is Ice Cool and Ice Cool 2. And the reason I'm including these together is they are essentially the same game. There's only a couple of differences, which includes the color of penguins that you're given and some of the art styles on the maps. But the maps are basically just inverted. It's like mirror mode from Mario Kart, if you know what I'm talking about. The maps are very similar. And what you're doing in these games is you have a little plastic penguin. Let me get that out to show you. You have these little plastic penguins that you're going to flick around a board. And the very cool thing is the box is the board. So here's your penguin. Here's the red one. It's got this little bottom part. That's because when you flick it on the bottom, it kind of spins, it goes, and you have to hit it with the right portion. I will say, if you play this game enough, your fingers will start to hurt, because these plastic penguins are not forgiving on the fingers. And a lot of times when you want to try to do jump shots and stuff, you have to hit them right on the top of the head with the very tip of your finger, so they go down and smash up and then jump. That can really hurt your finger after a lot. I have 2 videos on this channel covering Ice Cool and Ice Cool 2. I highly suggest you check out the Ice Cool playthrough video that I will have above my head. And the reason I say that is because you can see a lot of really cool shots in that video. And it gives you a really good peek into this game. So there's both a video on Ice Cool and a video on the playthrough with the giant map, because when you have both games, you can put the whole map together. What I want to show you now is the, kind of how this box goes together. So this is the very inner part of the box, and you have these holes. And what you're going to do is when you have another piece of the box, just pull that out, you're going to line up those holes. It tells you where to put them. In this case, I'll put them this way. It's not the right spot either. But you line up these holes like this. So the boards are next to each other. And then there's a hole. You can see right here, there's a hole. That's where the penguin's going to go. So your board is going to be flat. And you're going to flick your penguin, try to go through those doors. Some of those doors are going to have these colored fish above them. Your goal is to collect all of your colored fish. However, so this game is you're at a penguin school, and you are excused or sneaking out from class so that you can try to go get some fish because you're hungry. So you have these little school IDs. This is your school ID. And what you're doing is you're trying to sneak out, get your fish. But there's also a hall monitor. One of the players who's playing will be the hall monitor that turn. Their job is to get all the other penguins. So while the other penguins are trying to flick their penguins through doors to collect their 3 colored fishes, 3? I think so. The hall monitor is trying to flick and hit the other penguins. If they hit the penguin, they collect that player's school ID. And then at the end of the round, for every fish that a player acquired, they're going to get one of these power cards in this bag here. These cards have point values on them. Yeah, 1, 2, or 3 points. There's also some promo cards that have 0.5 on them. But the 1 cards come with an ice skate. If you get 2 ice skates, you can take a second turn when you want to. And then the 2 cards and the 3 cards do not have any ice skates on them, but they're worth that many victory points. So every fish you get a card. You also get a card for any school IDs you have at the end of the round. So at the end of the round, if you yourself have your own school ID, you're going to get a card. If the hall monitor has 3 school IDs, they're going to get 3 cards. So the hall monitor wants to end the game before most of the players get their, end the round before most of the players get their fish. That ensures they get more cards. You as a player want to get your fish and try to keep your hall pass. But if you lose your hall pass or your school ID, you still could go around and collect your fish until the hall monitor gets all of the school IDs in the game. Then that round is over. Hall monitor passes to another player. You reset all the fish and you start back up again. And so again, I do say go check out my video. You're going to get a much better understanding of how you play the game, how the flicking works. I show you all that in great detail in both my Ice Cool and my Ice Cool 2 videos. So I would really highly suggest you go check those out. But in at number 24, one of my favorite systems to play, Ice Cool and Ice Cool 2 from Brain Games. Number 23. So in the last video of this series on Monday, we talked about the 2-player version of this game. Now this is the 3 to 7 player version and one of the classic board games of all time, 7 Wonders from Repost Productions. Now this 7 Wonders copy has almost everything. Now this is also the original printing, or at least one of the original styles of the game. They have just recently redone 7 Wonders. They've made some balance changes to it. They've updated the artwork. And I know not all of the expansions for 7 Wonders or like all the promo stuff has come out for it yet because it's brand new. But they have released 7 Wonders and Seafarer, or not Seafarers, Armada cities and leaders for the new art style and the new updated balance changes. This is not that. This is the older one still. This has the, just like 7 Wonders Duel did, this has the broken token inside of it and the metal coins, which are very nice. I really like the metal coins for 7 Wonders, as well as this one, the broken token helps probably more than the 7 Wonders Duel one, but something that I enjoy. So in 7 Wonders, if you're not familiar with it at all, you're going to start with a board here. This is your wonder for the game. Everybody's going to have one of these. Over time, they've added a lot more than 7. They started with 7, but like now you have things like here's Stonehenge or Petra. You don't just have the original 7 Wonders, you know, Babylon or Rhodes, the Library at Alexandria. These are some of the original ones, but they have other ones as well. Like here's the Roman Colosseum. And each one of these will have different powers and different building requirements to make the multiple stages of the wonder. Most of the wonders do have 3 stages here at the bottom. Some of the wonders will have 4 stages at the bottom, like the pyramids at Giza do. And then some of them, I think, even have, I think the Colosseum I just showed you had 2. Whatever they got 2. Yeah, the Colosseum only has 2 on this side. Now the other thing is each side has a different set, which is cool. So you have an A side or a B side, and you can randomize all of that with the what they give you cards for each wonder. So you deal out a card, and then you kind of like spin it to see if you get the A side or the B side. Here's an example of those. If I can pull this out of this, I don't think it's going to come out of there at the moment, but that's okay. So what you're doing is, you're going to be dealt a hand of cards. Here, this is the age 1 cards. In the first age, you're going to be dealt cards per the number of players. Everybody's going to draft those cards. You're going to draft one, pass them to the next player. And the back of the card shows you which way you're going to pass it, to the left or the right. First age and third age, you're going to pass them one way. Second age, you're going to pass them the other way. You draft cards. These cards allow you to get resources, which will allow you to build better cards. You can also chain cards. So certain cards will have what they will lead into. So in this case, the Apothecary. If you have the Apothecary, you can for free either build the stables or the dispensary. And these are cards will allow you to do different things. The Apothecary is a science card. Science cards are a set collection in this game. You want to collect more of the same symbols, which will grow at an exponential rate based off of the power. So one card is only worth 1, but if you have 2 of that symbol, it's worth more points. 3 is worth more, 4 is worth more, and it grows and grows and grows. Yellow cards are usually commercial cards. These allow you to somehow get coins most of the time. And then blue cards are just straight up victory points. And these also can do the same thing. Like this theater can lead you into a statue. So the theater is worth 2, but you can build the statue for free then, and that's worth 4 points as well. And the brown cards are your resources. So at any time that can be worth 1 stone or 1 wood. And the red cards are worth military. So that's 1 military power. And the way that works is at the end of the round, you show your military power versus the people on the left and the right of you. And if you win, you get points. And if you lose points. And you're going to do that for 3 ages. So then you have a new set of cards for round 2. And the same thing with round 3. They have different colored and marking backs on them. That is the base 7 Wonders. One thing I really like from 7 Wonders is this stack here. Card got down there somehow. This stack here, which has this symbol on the back. Ooh, it's not showing up. There we go. That symbol on the back. And these are the leaders. These come from the leaders expansion. These have it's another thing that you draft at the beginning of the game, or at the beginning of the round, and you get to have an additional power that you can play. You draft these just like you would any other cards. You take one from your hand, you pass them around, and then when you can pay for them, the leaders all cost coins, but they have so many different powers from them, and they come from all facets of history. I don't even know if all of these are historical figures. A lot of them are. Some of them may be made up. I'm going to guess they're probably not. I just don't know of all of these. But like, there's Plato and Imhotep, Archimedes, Cleopatra, Nero. So a bunch of different people. Yeah. I really like adding the Leaders expansion. I have not gotten to play with the Armada expansion yet for this game. We do own it, just have not played with it yet. But my own personal opinion, the best expansion for 7 Wonders that doesn't make the game too different is the Leaders. It just adds an extra thing that you can draft and then play from your hand. I really like that. But 7 Wonders is it's one of the classic board games of all time. It's up there with some of the others like Catan and Ticket to Ride. It has sold millions of copies for a very good reason, because it is such a great game. I kind of hinted at this on my previous list when I covered 7 Wonders Duel. I like this game just a little bit better than Duel. If I have the option to play both, I want to play Seven Wonders. If I only have 2 people, obviously if I want a Seven Wonders experience, I'm going to play Duel. But if I'm able to play Seven Wonders, I'm going to probably choose that over Duel. And I know that's in the minority of thought process. But I like both. We have the Broken Token. We have the Metal Coins for both. We have most of, if not all, the expansions for both games. And they... Seven Wonders Duel or Seven Wonders is not a killer for the other one. They both have a place for me because of player counts. You can't really play Seven Wonders at 2 players well. You can't play Seven Wonders Duel at anything other than 2 players. So they both have a place in my collection. It's not in some case where some games, kill another game. They both belong. They're both great. They're both in my top 30. Seven Wonders Duel was 30. This is number 23. And that is Seven Wonders from Repos Production. Number 22. Number 22 is a flip and write game about building up a neighborhood in 1950s USA. And that is Welcome to from Deepwater and Blue Cocker. And this game is a game, you might say, Roc, I feel like I just heard you talk about this game. And that's because you did. I just recently did a Roc review on this game that you can see at the top of the screen. And I'm only going to talk about this game for a very short period of time because I did just do a huge deep dive on Welcome to. I highly suggest you take a look at that video after this one if you're still looking for information on Welcome to. But what you do in Welcome to is everybody gets one of these player sheets. Now, Flippin' Rights and Rollin' Rights is a very big genre in board gaming right now, especially with, the current situation with having to stay home. These games are really made for online play. They're great if you can play them in person, but you can play these games remotely. A lot easier than a lot of other board games. So they're seeing even more of prominence during everything that's going on right now, even beyond the growth that it was having prior to that. Everybody's going to get one of these player sheets. It has 3 streets at the top, neighborhoods, and then these are like your scoring stuff down at the bottom. And you're going to have these cards. These cards have an icon on the back of them. And the way you do it is you're going to have 3 rows that will look similarly to that, where you have an icon and a number. And you have to choose one of those 3. So there'll be another row and another row right here. So this is an 8 fence. You may have a 15 park. You may have a 3 pool. There's just some of the different actions you have. So that's a fence. That's an estate. That's a temp agency. That's a park. And that's a pool. These are the actions that you take on the game, and each one does something different. For a better explanation of those actions, go ahead and see my Roc review. But you will choose those, you'll fill them out. Your goal is you're going to have 3 goal cards in this game. And just for an example, here's a couple of them. The base ones are mostly built around having estates, which is a group of houses that has a fence on either side of the estate. And the very ends of the streets counts as fences already. So if you need to build a 6 wide, and you build down here on your bottom street, and you build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, and then put a fence, that is a 6 estate. But if you cross another fence into it, then it splits it up. If you use that estate as a 6, you can't put any fences in after the fact. You have to, if you cash it in for one of the bonuses. But up until that point, you can put as many fences as you need to. And based off where you put your estate points at the bottom here, will earn you points as well. This is a great game for playing online. It's a great game for playing in a group of people. You can print off a copy of this page if you ever run out. You can buy more of these if you ever run out. And then they have a bunch of different variations of the map. So this is just the base map, but you can get a map for every season. They have spring, summer, winter wonderland, Halloween. They have ones like Zombies and Doomsday. There's I think there might, I don't know if I got them all there. There might be one other one that I've forgotten that, and I'm sorry. But you can also see all of these on the digital app from Blue Cocker. I covered that in my discussion as well. You can play this game as long as one person has the copy of the cards. You can play this game with as many people as you want, just with them having the app on their phone, and the app is free. And it works great. It does all the scoring for you. It shows you what you can do. I really suggest, if you like Welcome To, you get the app. And Deepwater Games, who publishes this game in the United States, they have a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/oximedia where one of their employees, Elle, will play this game multiple times a week, usually. Depending on what the schedule is, the games and the days change a little bit. But I highly suggest going over to their Twitch channel, stopping by in the mid-afternoon for East Coast time, probably a little bit earlier than that for West Coast, and then later than that for Europe. But they have a really good community over there. People really enjoy playing the game. And again, you can play if you have a print and play sheet, if you have the original sheets, or if you have just the app. You can play along, and it doesn't matter how many people are playing. So in at number 22 is the Flip and Write classic, probably the one that launched the genre, at least in my opinion, is Welcome To from Blue Cocker and Deepwater Games. Number 21. Finishing off today's list at number 21 is another Flip and Write game. This time from Thunderworks Games. It's Cartographers, a role-player tale. And I had to put Cartographers and Welcome To right next to each other, and it was really hard to pick which one to put on top of each other. I enjoy playing both of these a lot. They have differences, but at the core, they're very similar in that they are both flip and writes, and not overly complicated flip and writes. I would say Welcome To is more accessible than Cartographers in a way, but both can be introduced to newer players and be understood. The heart of any flip and write, or any roll and write, is of course where you're writing. And this is your map for Cartographers. Now, you also have on the other side, go ahead, flip this over, you have a second map on the other side of the page that you can play with as well. Set up a little bit differently, and then there's that canyon in the middle. And what you're going to be doing in Cartographers is you have a couple of cards here. Let me go ahead and get these out. So you have these season cards. Cartographers played over 4 seasons, just like a year. In spring, you will be playing to score goals A and B. And you have these cards here that'll show you A, B, C, D. These will show you the goal cards, what they're going to be. Then in summer, you score B and C. In fall, you score C and D. And then in winter, you score D and A. There's a couple of other games that have used a similar mechanic to that. But those are what you'll be doing. The goals that you have are, here's just a couple of them. So it shows you these different goals that they're asking you to do. Some of them that are more easily to understood are, you earn 3 reputation stars for each mountain space connected to another mountain space. Oh, that's actually not as easy as all. Connected to another mountain space by a cluster of forest spaces. So you have forests in between 2 mountains, so that's going to give you 3 stars for each one of the mountains. Let's see if we can find a slightly easier one. Here we go. This is a better one. Earn 1 reputation star for each forest space adjacent to the edge of the map. So if you build along the edge of your map, a bunch of forests, you're going to earn a bunch of points for that. But again, only in the seasons that is. So if that was on your B goal card, you're only going to score that in spring and summer. After summer, that goal card means nothing to you. You won't score it ever again. And so that's just kind of what you have to do, is kind of know what you're going to be scoring and what to build for. And you have to keep in mind, I think, especially with the A card. So you do the A card in spring, but you also do it at the end in winter. So you kind of want to remember that even though you're trying to build stuff for B and C and D, A is going to come back. And that can score you, winter can score you a lot of points. You're only going to score a couple points in spring and summer because you're just starting to build. But if you play the game correctly, you can earn big points in fall and especially in winter, knowing what's coming. What you do to build is you have this stack of cards. And it will show you usually 1 or 2 areas. So in this case, this is called a tree chop village. And it shows you a house and forest trees. And then it shows you a little polyomino figure at the bottom, like a Tetris shape. What you do is you can either draw all forest or all village pictures in that shape anywhere on your map. And you're going to try to use that. So like if you were trying to build the forest along the edge, you might use that to build 1, 2, 3 down, and then over 1, and then down 1. And that would give you 3 forest spaces along the edge of the map. And so it's kind of building in Tetris style. If you ever surround a mountain on all 4 sides, north, south, east, and west, you get a coin. You can cross out coins down here. Those earn you points every single round. So the more coins you have, the better. And there's also cards that will give you the option of 2 different shapes. Like this forest only has 1 symbol on it, but it's 2 different shapes. If you take the smaller shape, you get a coin as well. So that's part of the strategy as well. You only get half of the symbols on your map, but you're getting a coin. And this is a game that a lot of people love. I love it too, obviously. One of the other things you do is you're going to shuffle in these monsters into the game. And when these come up, what you do is you pass your character sheet or your map to the person on your left or the right, depending on the character. And then they're going to draw the monster symbol in that pattern, depending on the card. And then you lose 1 point for each monster symbol that is not completely surrounded. So then what the players have to do is decide, do they want to lose points for all those monster symbols, or maybe abandon some of their goals that they were doing to try to negate the negative points by building around those monsters. Some of them are easier to build around than others, and sometimes people are going to be nicer to you where they put the monsters than others. So that's all part of the game. And ultimately, what you're doing is you're going to fill this out, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. There is currently on Kickstarter a standalone expansion to this game called Cartographer's Heroes. It is a game that I have backed. I am excited to see everything that comes from it. My understanding is it can be put together in some way. I'm really looking forward to it. It's coming with 3 new maps to play with and a bunch of other cards and things like that. So if you like cartographers, if you for some reason you haven't checked out that Kickstarter yet, I would highly recommend doing so. I am a backer for that, like I said, but that won't deliver until, I believe, at least July of 2021. Until then, if you don't have it already, pick up Cartographers from Thunderworks Games. This is a great game and one of my favorite roll and write, flip and writes of all time. In at number 21. Cartographers. Now it's time for the quick recap of today's episode. At number 25 was Mystic Veil from AEG. 24, Ice Cool and Ice Cool 2 from Brain Games. 23, Seven Wonders from Repros Productions. Number 22 was Welcome to from Blue Cocker and Deepwater Games. And rounding out the list at number 21 was Cartographers from Thunderworks Games. And that will do it for today's episode of the top 67 board games of all time. When we rejoin the list on Friday, we will be cracking the top 20, doing 20 through 16. Tomorrow, Thursday, you can see a new Roc Reacts unboxing video, and on Saturday, Remy and I will take a look at another kids game. Of course, over at twitch.tv/rollingwithroc on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, you can join me for some live board game action. And tonight, over at twitch.tv/room51live, Justin from Room 51 is going to host me on his channel, and we are going to play some sort of digital board game content. So go ahead and join us at 8 p.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/room51. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you leave likes and comments, subscribe to the channel, and share this content with your friends who also enjoy it. All of that means the world to me, and I greatly appreciate your support in all of ROCtober and beyond. I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday. This is AJ from Rolling With Roc, and you are watching ROCtober.